This program and its contents are designed for information and educational purposes only. This program does not render medical advice or professional services and is not intended to be a substitute for professional care. The information provided here should not be used for the purposes of diagnosing or treating a medical or psychiatric condition. If you have or suspect you may have a health problem, consult your healthcare provider.
Hi, welcome to Positive Momentum TV. I'm Diane Silva, and today Chris and I are continuing our discussion on anxiety and getting ready to wrap up this part of it and then working into the aviation part. So we may have one more segment after this one to put a nice little bow on the anxiety session. One of the things I really want to point out to people, anybody who has anxiety or those supporting it, is when you're dealing with or working through your fear and anxiety, it's not a one-shot deal. It's not like, okay, I made this flight and now I'm over this. From my experience, and that's what all of this is just experiential, is in order to maintain a level of management over this anxiety and fear, you need to continually face whatever it is that's causing you the angst. So with that, I wanted to just put that out there. Number two is, for those people who are dealing with anxiety and we choose to invite you in, which is what we're doing. We're inviting you into basically our psyche and let's look at it as we're inviting you in our home. So we need to be gracious hosts, and when people come back and say, well, whatever they're going to say, whether it's well-meaning or just the fact they don't believe, we just have to be gracious about it because we did invite them in. So we can, listen to what they have to say and then gently change the subject if we don't agree. For those of you who are being invited in, please understand that basically you're being invited in. Let's look at it as you're being invited into someone's home, and treat that person with the respect as if you were in their home. And it doesn't have to be anxiety, it could be cancer, it could be anything. We're just trying to be respectful, both of the supporter and of the person with anxiety. Chris, do you have anything you want to kind of add to that, or did that cover it, or maybe a better way of putting it?
No, I think what you said is very important in getting, having the perspective of when someone asks for help. They may not be exactly wanting you to give them advice. It may be a matter of that they just need for you to listen. Yeah. So, as you said, being respectful in the terms of how you go to someone's house and be visiting that person's house, is you would treat them with respect and
kindness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and we know everybody's, not maliciously coming out here. We all have good intention. It's just, if we can sit back and say, okay, I am a visitor in your house, or I am visiting, someone is visiting me in my house. If we can put that perspective on this all, it changes the whole dynamics of when we're talking to people about anxiety or illness or whatever it is, because it puts us in a different place.
Right.
And go ahead.
Well, one of the things also is the fact that it takes both sides to have an understanding, because yes, the person that is offering a suggestion or something like that, they are kind of on a fine line, because that suggestion could be interpreted a variety of different ways. Yeah. And with someone with anxiety, my experience is that there's a chance that it may be received, I don't want to say hostile, but more in the aspect of negative, that it may feel like you're criticizing the person with anxiety.
And I want to kind of take that a little bit, and if you don't mind, is one of the things I have found is I have had to defend myself and find ways to maneuver my whole life trying to deal with whatever is internalized, and then there's some external shame coming from this. So my initial response is whatever you're saying is kind of guarded, and until I can sit back and get out of this moment, because it automatically, just talking about it, brings up that anxiety.
Well, I think that's because when you are in a fearful moment or an anxious moment, that your emotions are escalated. And with them being escalated, you have a higher chance of being defensive.
Right, and misinterpreting.
Right. So it's one of those where like I said, it takes both sides.
Right.
It takes both sides of an understanding of what one person is offering a suggestion, and they're doing it in good faith.
Right.
And the other person, as far as receiving it, is, if they don't understand what is being offered, is remembering, ask questions. You know, and that may be hard when you're being, you know, when you're emotional, because you do feel the defensive wall go up first.
And when you're in emotion mind, you know, we talked about a little bit about this last night. When you're in emotion mind, your body's following. You know, you're tense, you're breathing shallows. So it's basically fight or flight.
Mm-hmm.
And that explains so much. You know, if you're in a fearful moment, you're trying to get through the moment, someone's offering some great advice, and it could be awesome advice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like breathe, and you just want to punch them in the face because it's like, I am breathing. No, exhale. You know, or, so as you put it the other day, you're in the line of fire.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're locked and loaded, ready to go. So, and I'm not giving anybody permission to be locked and loaded or to treat anybody else disrespectfully. That's why I want to go back to, remember, we invited someone in.
Yeah.
They're in our home. We have to be a gracious host. We invited them in. The person who's coming in, be the guest. Be
Right.
respectful of that, you know, that person. So, and this goes with anything. It doesn't have to be just anxiety. It's any kind of relationship. You know.
Sure.